I'll go ahead and take a few questions.
Yeah, I have a couple calls from West Memphis who have water coming up from underground. Can you speak specifically to that community about the boils?
Well, specific communities, if they were to contact us, we could definitely get back with them. I don't know specific areas, so I'd want to know specifically what you're talking about. But there are areas that are obviously, like I was saying, you're going to have underseepage. And what we try to do is, when that starts to occur, if it's underseepage of a levee, we're going to want to contain that. So we do need to know that if that's happening near our federal levees, especially. But what they probably need to do is make sure they're contacting their local levee board, because that's really who is our main conduit in the field. Is we talk to the local levee boards, and I mean we're in constant contact with them. So, and there's more of them out there than there are of us. So you let them know, and then we'll zero in on those issues. But I can tell you, in West Memphis, there has been a lot of under seepage, but not a lot of structural issues. Very, very few structural issues. So be interested to know where those are.
You said the river's high, but it's crested. Is it reasonable to believe that the flooding along the Mississippi banks is essentially as worse as it's going to get, which is more flooding?
Yeah, I can tell you, along the Mississippi River banks, yes, unless we obviously get a lot of more precipitation and another flood starts, we start getting a second crest. That's always a possibility. We don't see that right now with the predicted rainfall in the forecast. We don't see a second crest occurring. Now I'll speak to the backwater issues, which is Memphis proper's main issue right now. Is those unprotected areas are being backwater flooded from the Wolf, the Nonconnah, and the Waxahachie, and those areas, obviously, if you were to get a good rainfall in Memphis proper, then they're going to back up even further. So until the river has dropped enough to let those tributaries start to drain out that backwater, then you're still going to have those possible issues of backup due to rainfall.
Is there any concern with that levee that's north of Glen Island around the airport up there in the State Airport? Is there any concern if there was initially some word that it might have been rain or something? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Specifically, the federal levee over there, we are not. There's no concern. If there's another levee over there, it may be a private levee that we're not aware of. Well, I'm sure we're aware of it. Our guys will be aware of it. But I mean, I can get that information for you if you give me the specific location.
The sand boils, where are you seeing them? On which levees are you seeing them?
You're going to see sand boils when there's this amount of water on the levee, just about everywhere. I mean, we've seen them from the mega sand boils up in Cairo, Illinois, and Kentucky. We had some major sand boil issues up around Hickman and Fulton County. As you came south, it seemed to get better. And of course, the crest is just getting down here, so we may have some more in the future. But specifically, Memphis area, the Inslee levee is where we do have. As a matter of fact, that sand boil right there is on the Inslee levee. Again, it's controlled, it's contained, it's not an issue. We see no need to be alarmed right now at this point.
What about the Nonconnah and Wolf River? Do they have sand boils as well?
We have not had any reported. Correct.
How many? Just that one?
No, there's one in that area, and I'll speak to that as well. And then we have ones and twos, and there's not a whole lot down here. I would say not more than a handful. But like for instance up in Fulton County, if you start getting a whole bunch of them in one area, that can also be considered a problem. We consider that a problem. So we take a different strategy and we build what's called, I don't have a picture of it, it's called a water berm. And that's basically where you build a rock structure from a point on the levee all the way around where the whole bunch of boils are to another point in the levee. And it's essentially a big sandbag ring, kind of, and then you fill the water level, so you get all of them contained by one big structure.
Any idea how long it might be in phase 2? Any guesstimate? Forever?
Well, you ask the guys in the field, they're, like I said, we are rotating them out, so they are getting some rest, but we're probably looking at least to the middle of next week.
In those predictions you made about the recession, 6 inches and then the subsequent foot a day, Does that apply to people dealing with backwater too, or can you?
Yeah, and I'll address that a little bit. And the reason why it's dropping off so slow right now is because you got to drain some of that backwater out. So as the crest comes down, you go up around Crowsville, you're going to see a quicker fall right now. And then when the crest gets to Memphis, you also have to drain the backwater from over in Arkansas as well as the tributary backwater. So then that's what slows that crest, and then it'll start building up steam, and about the end of the weekend, we think, in the middle of next week, we should start seeing about the end of the day.
What's the current height of the river?
47.5, I believe it was, right before I walked out.
And we should start seeing it go down 6 inches
Right now.
Right now. So tomorrow morning would be there.
I predict that tomorrow at this time, it will drop 6 inches. That's my prediction.
What's the location of the levee that was overtopped, or the name of the levee?
It's very close to just south, that'd be southeast of Desart.
Of?
Desart. Desart.
Are there any levees along Mississippi that are in any danger of having their overtopping further south of here?
Further south there is, and that's in Vicksburg District. I do not have the details on that. I'm Memphis District, but I can tell you that down, I don't want to speak for them, basically, but there is a levee down there they're concerned about overtopping. And they have been engaged with the public. They had a town hall last 2 days ago, and they let all those folks know that there's a possibility.
How about barge traffic and commercial traffic up and down the river? Is that normal? Is that still going on? What's happening?
Yeah, I tell you, what we did was we get concerned when we call the freeboard of the levee. That's basically the water level to the top is less than 2 feet. That's when we get concerned about river traffic, and we start. We work very close with the Coast Guard. We got a Coast Guard guy that sits in our cell, and we give them our areas where our levee boards and our city officials are worried about certain areas. When we get around 2 feet, we start restricting traffic, and in fact, we close traffic up around Caruthersville for, I want to say, for about 6 hours one day when the water level was in that 2 foot range.
And how about here? Is traffic running normal?
As far as I know, we have not restricted traffic here.
Have you heard of any issues in the port in terms of possible slowdown of activity, or even commercial activity there because of the high water?
I have not.
This is a broader question. I don't know if you are equipped to answer it today, but it's out there. It's going to come up. The spokesperson for the Conservation for American Rivers was on CNN this morning, and he's very critical of how we do things now, that we've taken away nature's way of controlling the river and put in a man-made system, and the wetlands are going away. Response to that?
I might want to take some time on that one. From the Corps of Engineers standpoint, we're given authority by Congress, and we basically do what Congress tells us to do. We work with those communities very closely to try to ensure we're doing the right thing for the environment as well. Some of our projects that we're working on right now out in Cache River, for example, a very, very well liked project it's an environmental restoration project. So I understand where you're going with the levees and things like that, but again, I'll leave that up to the Congress.
Is there any indication that maybe companies have used the river less because of the flood situation? In other words, have held back in case there's any danger?
I tell you, from our standpoint, I can't tell you. I can't give you an answer. I just know that we did stop traffic on 3 different occasions during this flood. One for the operation of Birch Point Matter floodway, and one for when it started getting close to the top of the flood wall approach.
Okay, you said 3, so that's 2. What was the third one?
Two times for Birch Point Matter.
Thank you.
And I guess there's kind of a danger of, we want to be very careful with our message as far as saying we're out of the woods, we're not out of the,
Right.
at the level that people should let their guard down or not at